Alrighty, so now let's talk about the second game of the doubleheader between Nashville SC and Orlando City. And there will not be a game free in terms of this series because Orlando City take care of business as they win 1-0 against Nashville in a game where this was a very Orlando City Oscar Pereira-esque road game. We always see Orlando City, they are a team that at times they decide to just nick a goal either early in the game or in the middle of the game, and then they basically packed it in. Now, I will say that they did have their opportunity to make it 2-0, and I'm pretty sure that as much as Oscar is happy that this team is moving on into the conference semifinal, he's probably not happy the fact that they didn't really kill this game off and they could have made it a little bit more comfortable in this one. But that being said, they are playing against a Nashville team that I think this performance and really these last couple of games just kind of sums up Nashville SC ever since they lost that Leeds Cup final. I mean, that Leeds Cup final has really took the wing out of this team's sails, similar to what we saw a couple of years ago when New England lost a devastating game in the CONCACAF Champions League game against Pumas in the second leg, and that just took the went out of their sail, and they just never recover from that because I think they mentioned that this is now the sixth game in the last seven that Nashville has failed to score a goal in a game. And when you have that as a stat line, it's no wonder why many people are not surprised that Nashville is one and done, and also not surprised that they didn't score a single goal in this playoffs too. Now, early on, Torres would puts it high from long range, as I thought Orlando was on the front foot early, and they get a goal because of that. As in the 5th minute, it's Angulo that gets the opening goal for Orlando City, but it was a gift there from Dax McCarty. You do not see Dax McCarty commits a WTF turnover very often. I mean, you know when things are bad for Nashville, when even your best player is making mistake, and here, McCarty just committed WTF turnover there, and then Zimmerman didn't really do a good job in terms of blocking that. I mean, allow Angulo to beat him. I mean, how many times have you seen Walker Zimmerman get beaten by an attacker? That doesn't happen very often, too. I mean, it was very unlike Nashville, the way that they conceded that goal. But Orlando City wouldn't care. They were leading 1-0 in this one. Now, the first chance for Nashville did see Surridge miss wide from long range. It took 8 minutes before the Nashville fans told the referee he really sucks because that's kind of the thing. I mean, I know the ref you suck chant is not as prominent in MLS compared to what you see in other leagues, especially in the NHL. But I'm pretty sure Nashville fans don't think that is the case because they took took it to a way where I think Nashville fans probably they say the ref you suck chant more than I think anybody has had in the league, and that I will also say that out of all the fan base are kind of a little bit fickle in terms of the referee decision that goes against them, and maybe a little bit kind of upset and getting hot tempered because of referee decision that goes against them. Gotta say, Nashville fans are probably they always seems to be very riled up when a referee decision that goes their way. So I guess that's probably the reason why the ref you suck chant is heard more at Geodis Park than any stadium that I've seen it being heard in MLS. There was then a long delay for a clash of heads between Zimmerman and McGuire. This was a very physical game early on, and early on it was pretty clear that both of these teams they do not like each other whatsoever. There was a shout for a handball not given to Nashville in the 17th minute before Mule would heads it wide after there was a foul that was being called. I believe he committed a foul there after Galese came off his lines there, but Mio basically impleted him like that, and obviously the arguments about goalkeepers gonna have the benefit of the doubt is gonna be in discussion here. I mean, I guess that because of that's why the foul was being called, because if that was not the case, then yeah, that probably shouldn't have been foul in the first place. But as I said, it's been a very physical game. There's been a lot of fouls and a lot of kind of stoppage of play. There was really not a lot of flow into this one. I mean, this game was kind of the complete opposite of what we saw between Atlanta United and the Columbus Crew. And because of that, there was a lot of whistle and foul. Tempers is going to start to flare. And it did in the 23rd minute as the tempers really started to flare and both team had a big coming together. And then in the 33rd minute, Moore heads it wide from close range before Mukhtar looked like he tied the game up for Nashville. But unfortunately, the goal was disallowed for offside, and I think this was a shot from distance where Mukhtar was in the path of the shot. And again, you don't have to be the one that touched the ball to be in offside position. If you are in the line of the shot and you're in an offside position, they're always going to call it, and that is exactly why that goal was disallowed. But I think Pedro Galese is probably the most relieved man out there because he was the one that kind of gave up the juicy rebound to Mukhtar, and yeah, that could have been a gift for Orlando City giving to Nashville, just like how Nashville gifted Orlando their opening goal in the 5th minute. Mukhtar then hits it wide from close range in the 41st minute. Again, another thing that is a huge reason why Nashville is really struggling to score goal is that Mukhtar has been nowhere near that MVP level. He has not been at it really ever since the regular season resumed. And as the saying goes, if Mukhtar is not at it, if your best player is not at it, then Nashville is pretty much dormant in terms of the attack. But at least at that point, I thought at least Nashville did try to push for a late equalizer as we would get 9 minutes of stoppage because there was a lot of stoppage for those fouls and injuries that has happened throughout this first half. But we do head to halftime with Orlando leading 1-0. Now in the second half, Facundo Torres would hit one right to Willis before Cartagena would puts it wide on the volley. I mean, you would think that maybe that momentum that Nashville has near the end of the first half would carry into second, but Orlando, they were off to a positive start. They were trying to kill this game off. Angulo would hit it right to Willis before McNulton launched one that actually goes straight to Galese, but that was a powerful shot there from Lucas McNulton. I mean, you usually do not see a defender have a powerful shot like that, but still, it was pretty easy for Pedro Galese to deal with. Willis then denied Ojeda from close range, and really, as the time winds down, Orlando was kind of giving Nashville a little taste of their own medicine. So I mentioned before how Nashville is always a team where when you are facing them and you are behind in the 15 minutes, good luck in terms of trying to break down their low block because yeah, they are a team that when they have the lead and in the final 15 minute when they shut up shop, this has always been a team that's probably one of the toughest in terms of trying to break down and trying to score a late goal. But now it seems like Orlando is trying to return the favor. They are giving Nashville a little taste of their own medicine, of them now sitting in a low block and trying to see out this game. And Orlando has been really good this season on the defensive end. So yeah, this is when with a good defensive structure with Orlando and a Nashville team that just completely looked toothless on the attack, you just kind of had a sense that yeah, this looks like it was over. Even if it though it was still just a one goal game, I just didn't sense that Nashville was going to get the equalizer. And in fact, I wrote despite they try to throw everything forward, they just look toothless going forward. And Geodis Park, usually Geodis Park does provide some of the best atmosphere in MLS. It was library throughout this game, and this is not nothing against Nashville fans, but they didn't really have anything to cheer for. I mean, they were kind of rocking early in this one, but that goal that they conceded in the 5th minute really killed the vibe and really just never gained back. I mean, it was relatively like quiet, almost like it was a funeral. Consider they were just counting down the season before Nashville getting once again bounced in the first round of the playoffs. Urso then puts it wide from close range, and that was a big chance too. I mean, that was an opportunity that I think Junior Urso probably should have done better. And I also wrote, will that missed chance come back to haunt Orlando? Because, as much as I know Nashville hasn't threatening whatsoever, it only take one bounces that goes the wrong way for Orlando or Orlando themselves commit a WT at turnover, and all of a sudden Nashville will find himself an equalizer, and we would gone to a PK shootout. But fortunately for Orlando, that didn't happen. As in the end, it was relatively comfortable. 1-0 win against Nashville SC. The shots of this one, 17 shots, or not 17, 16 shots for the 10 that Nashville has. Gave one extra shot for Orlando in this one, but 5 shots on goal for the 4 that Nashville has. 5 shots off target for the 6 that Orlando has. 5 shots off block for the 1 that Nashville has. And possession-wise, 53% possession compared to 47% possession that Orlando City has in this game. So yeah, Orlando, they're moving on into the playoffs to become the 4th team to move on into the conference semi-final, and now we just have one more matchup in terms of game 2 of the first round to see whether or not if it's going to go to game 3, and that one is the Philadelphia Union versus the New England Revolution. But going back to this game, like I said, for Orlando, they'll be happy that they're move on into the next round, though, there's going to be tougher opponent that they're going to be facing, especially for Nashville in this one. Again, it just felt like it was watching a slow death of their season. Really, ever since the Leagues Cup final is over, this team just kind of faltered to a point where, because they got a lot of points in the beginning of the season, eventually they would make it to the playoffs, but because of the fact that they were just so poor down the stretch. I mean, it's hard to believe that a couple of months ago, even before the Leagues Cup, we were talking about how this Nashville team could potentially be a contender, and especially with things were going so right for this Nashville team back in May when they were firing all cylinder, and Honey Mukhtar, there was even discussion, is he going to go back to back in terms of MVP? Yeah, so much for that. I mean, it has really been a huge fall from grace for this Nashville team, and now what do you do with this team? I mean, I'm definitely going to be interested to talk about what they're probably going to do in the moving forward series when I do get to them in terms of that. But there you have it. That is pretty much it in terms of looking at this game. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this game? And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash the subscribe button. And yeah, I, of course, will see you guys next time.